Pursuant to the Local Government Budget and Fiscal Control Act, I'm pleased to submit the recommended FY 23-24 budget for your review and consideration. As we go through this process, you see the pretty cover of the budget there you'll be getting a little bit later. This all started, as you recall, back at a retreat in February. At that time, we went back and sat down and kind of gauged your priorities for the coming year. Those priorities, you set, 6 priorities, continue efforts to go back and offer competitive compensation and benefits to our employees. Develop a new comprehensive plan, which will include a focus on neighborhood planning, such as West End, Whitnall, and other neighborhoods, and also a Parks and Recreation Master Plan. Continue to go back and develop strategies to support affordable workforce and market rate housing. Number 4, continue to fund and support water and sewer capital improvements. Number 5, continue to support minimum housing and code enforcement. And 6, continue to evaluate organizational staffing needs and encourage succession planning and professional development. So our budget is based upon those 6 priorities you set at the retreat in February and also our planning session we had in March, as well as our committee of the whole meetings we have throughout the year and the priorities you set during those meetings. The general fund totals $22,066,505. The budget's balanced with the current property tax rate. The current rate is 57 cents per 100. The rescue readiness tax is 0.85 cents per 100, so our total rate is 57.85 current rate. The budget does include a $1 increase in our solid waste fee, bringing that total to $12 per month, but all other general fund fees are unchanged. And I would mention that our solid waste fees are in line with the surrounding jurisdictions, much lower than Hickory and Morgan. General fund revenues. 81% of our revenues come from property tax, sales tax, franchise tax. So 81% makes up those 3 pots of money. Other makes up the balance of that. Expenditures you see by the pie chart. Our main expenditures are police and fire and public works. And then following that, recreation and other departments. Grants. Grants are not included in the operational budget. As you know, this past year we received a lot of money, probably the last several years. American Rescue Plan, Capital Infrastructure Funds, Park and Recreation Trust Fund, Appalachian Regional Commission, Rural Transformation Grant, on and on. These funds cover large capital expenses that go over several budget years. We will go back and, work with those funds in the budget, but they are not included in our budget. We do those in separate capital ordinance project ordinances. The recommended budget contains no new debt and does not include any use of fund balance. Some of the events we had downtown. Speaking of downtown, the municipal district totals $236,900. It maintains the current rate at 20 cents per 100 as assessed value. That brings in roughly $33,000 to that fund. The city supplants the $236,000 with general tax, property taxes. Holiday decorations. There'll be additional decorations in the budget. I know some of you want to know about that. Water and Sewer Wastewater Fund totals $10,726,980. That includes the 4% increase we approved earlier this year. We normally base that rate based on the Consumer Price Index. In February, that was 6.4%. However, we only decided to go back and look at rate increases of 4%. That's an average of about $2.09 per month per customer with 5,000 gallons of usage. Water revenues. About 65% of all revenues of that fund come from water. Sewer makes up about 1/3, and a little bit left with interest income and fees. Expenses, water operation makes up over half the expenses in the water fund. Highlights. Our core services are continued with revenue projections based on realistic, conservative numbers. Also looking at the economic environment we're in. Employee compensation. This is probably the most interest for our employees here in the room. The city, of course, like private employers, experience workforce challenges with some positions in both recruitment and retention. We propose to go back and include a 4.5% cost of living for all employees. As we say every year, employees are our most important asset, and we want to go back and reward the employees for what they do for us. Speaking of our employees, several weeks ago, here's a letter sweep where all the employees are involved. Other highlights, new positions. The budget includes 6 new positions. We propose a new purchasing and logistics manager and a safety coordinator in public services. And then we have 4 new school resource officers funded in partnership with the Caldwell County School System. So every elementary school, every school will have a school resource officer. Retirement contributions. This year, our mandatory contribution went up 75 basis points for the general employee and 100 basis points for our law enforcement officers. That's covered. Insurance, our health insurance premiums went up 5% while maintaining the current benefits. Our property liability insurance went up 17.49%. We're working on that right now. This says our workers' comp went up 7.71%, but this is a 445 today, that's basically flat. So we worked to get that flat. Street resurfacing, the budget includes $410,000, an increase of $10,000 to continue resurfacing our city-owned streets based on our updated pavement study we completed back in the spring. Also, we've included $206,250 in additional paving funds for strategic paving priorities, such as repaving Hospital Avenue once the sidewalks put in. And also, I think we have Summer Hill included this year. We've had a lot of homes built in that subdivision. We have to go back with the final 2 inches of asphalt on those streets. Speaking of paving, other highlights, the downtown budget, or downtown, we're going to go back and use CDBG money once again to go back and help with the campus projects. As we mentioned before, there's other funding sources for that as well, and we're continuing to pursue other funds. Code enforcement, we have $100,000 for building demolitions, foreclosures, and nuisance enforcement, and that excludes our personnel cost. I know that's one of the council's priorities. Technology, there's funding for computer and information technology upgrades throughout the organization to improve operations and also security. Environmental, the budget includes funding to continue with the Western Piedmont Council of Governments Phase 2 Stormwater Management Program, where they oversee our program for us. Also, we're funding, as we approved several meetings ago, to go back, the COG will go back and provide comprehensive mapping of our stormwater system. That's included. Planning, the budget includes funding for a new comprehensive plan, which will focus on neighborhoods such as Weston, Whitwell, and all neighborhoods in the city. That's funded. And then the budget funds all our debt obligations. That's our city for a big plan. Here's some of the highlights in the general fund. Vehicle services, we have a new, our HVAC replacement unit, a brake lathe, headlight adjuster, and vehicle services. Streets, we got a service vehicle. Cemeteries, a new master plan, a zero-turn mower, columbarium, a service truck. Sanitation, we have a new garbage truck that's just arrived, but we're funding that beginning July 1st. Also roll-off rentable containers. Police, we're doing classroom renovations, includes 6 new patrol cars, 10 mobile data, in-car radios, video enhancement system for them. There's the mobile data terminals. Fire classroom renovations, 10 self-contained breathing apparatus, Fire Station 2 apron repairs, and also a Lucas tool, and also another HVAC unit replacement. Parks and Rec, we have new doors for MLK Center, utility vehicle and mower, and technology upgrades. And there's Ralph and the pickleball court. For water and sewer, some of the capital items there: Road Hiss water plant, 2 pickup trucks, lobby renovations, and AWIA compliance improvements. Water distribution, a skid steer and mower, a service truck, major pressure reducing valve vaults. Utility maintenance, service truck, used forklift and trailer. And wastewater collections, a spare pumps at Kincaid Station, upgrade pumps at Cypress Station, and a dump truck. Gunpowder, grinder pump and screen bar replacement. Lower Creek and fluent repairs. There's Smith Crossroads. So all that together really quickly is our recommended 2003-04 budget. Again, it's balanced. I think it addresses your goals and priorities you set out for us. It does address every need we have. We never will, but we'll go back and continue to knock those down and move forward. I think staff, as we talk about daily, they go back and look for cost savings to maximize our resources every day. And I think that gets us as far as we get with our budget. We can do so many things because of that. Donna Bean, I want to thank her. Without her, this would not be done. She does a great job putting all these square pegs and round holes together to make things work. I appreciate our department directors for working together, knowing we're all one team. knowing we can't do everything, but together we can achieve a lot. Thank City Council for the direction. And our primary goal, as I say every year, is service beyond measure, and we want you to come create with us. What I ask you to do tonight is to go back and schedule the public hearing for June 6th at 6 p.m. in these chambers, and we'll have a work session beginning Thursday night at 6 p.m. I'll take questions if you got them. If not, Donna will answer every one of them.
Any questions? Anyone on the council?
You should have a link to this, if not now, shortly.